Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. Here in the United States, we are celebrating Veterans Day. It's a perfect reminder to thank a service member for their sacrifices to protect our freedoms. I am using Queen & Company's Star Shaker Kit to make thank you card for a local veteran. So I'm going to start off by quickly showing you everything that's included in the Star Shaker Kit. So there are 4 star steel dies that all have a faux stitching around the outside. There are 12 of the self-adhesive foam shaker shapes, and there's 3 of the 4 different sizes of the stars. And then there's also all of the acetate covers for the shaker pieces. And then finally there is a stamp set that has a variety of different sentiments that could be used throughout the year. I think this is a very versatile kit that could be used for any occasion. So now on to my card. I'm using sketch number 502 from Mojo Monday. The pattern paper is all by Doodlebug Design, and it's some older collections that aren't even available anymore. And the blue cardstock is just from my scrap drawer. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out this star die out of the background layer. That way I can save on paper because I actually didn't have a whole lot of this dark blue. And since it's covered up by that pattern paper, nobody's going to know that I cut a star out of the back of it. And this border die is by Fawn. It's just nice scalloped stitch die. And all of these pieces, I've already gone ahead and cut them out to the measurements on the sketch. And the sketch did not include measurements. I always figure them out myself, and all of my cards are A2 size. For my matted layers, I simply increase the measurement by 1/8 of an inch. If you prefer a wider matting, then you could increase it by 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that card front onto my card base, and then add this circle element, and I just used a stitch die from Fawn for that. Now before I assemble the shaker component, I'm just going to include the sentiment. So I just stamped it on a white piece of cardstock and then just cut the ends into a little fishtail, and then of course added some blue cardstock to layer it. And then I wanted the very end of it to kind of stick up, pop up a little bit more, so I put a little bit of foam dimensional tape on just the one side. So now I'm going to start assembling this star shaker. And I want to make sure that this frame matches up with that cutout piece. So there is a right direction, so you just want to make sure you have it turned the correct way. So now I pulled out that foam self-adhesive piece, and then same thing, I just want to make sure it's the correct direction, and I just pulled the backing off of the one side and pushed that down nice and snug, and now I can fill it with different toppings. And I'm using a variety of different Queen & Company toppings. So the white ones are the pops, the red are rubble. These are really fun, and you should always open your containers before you start recording a video. And then I added just a little bit of some diamonds, and then I didn't have any of this dark blue, so those are from Pretty Pink Posh, just some little sequins that I threw in there. So once all of the toppings are in place, I can take off that last piece of adhesive and then place the acetate cover over. And then now it's time to attach that star frame on top, and I just use some liquid adhesive. And this does slide around a little bit, so you got to make sure you press it down nice and firm. And then that shaker component is complete. So now I just want to add some extra bling to the card. So I pulled out these pearls from Queen & Company, and this is the brilliant blue color. So I'm just putting 3 of them underneath that banner sentiment, making sure they're straight. And these are self-adhesive, but I do like to add some liquid adhesive just to make sure that they stay in place. And then I wanted to add just a few more around the star, just to give it a little more interest. I love how this brilliant blue pearl matched so nicely with the Doodlebug blue paper. I'm just going to add a few more just around the rest of the star, just trying to decide where else I want to place one more. And it's kind of my trademark to add just these little banners in the upper corners of my card. I think some of my followers actually get surprised when I don't add one. So then I also just put a thin piece of some of the pattern paper on the inside of the card. This weekend, remember and give thanks to the men and women who have served or are still serving to protect our freedoms. I am forever grateful to all our service members. You will never be forgotten.